Hey everybody, we're going to be talking about in-ears today. If you have not used them before, well, you're going to get an opportunity to use them very, very shortly. We're going to talk about it from the musician's side of things first, and I'm only going to tell you what I tell musicians when they're using in-ears for the first time here at Powhatan. Now, not everything I'm going to say might work for you at your other locations. This is what I found generally works for us, and it might give you some ideas to help improve your in-ear experience, whether you're at no matter which location you're at. We're going to start with the musician side of things, and we're going to start with the in-ears themselves. Ours might look different than yours, but some of these fundamentals should translate across no matter what kind of in-ears you are using. One of the big things that helps a lot with musicians who are using in-ears is the very, very tip, or the end, the size of it. Sorry, my hands are shaky. This one I think is a small. And most in-ears, depending on which ones you're using at your campus, come with small, medium, or large. It's important that you take the time as a musician to find the one that fits your ear. You want the one that gives what you call a seal or a complete seal. You don't want any outside noise bleed through. And how do you know if it has a seal? Well, it sounds like you have your fingers literally stuck in your ears when you have a seal. There's no like outside noise coming in. So if you take your hands and cover it all the way over your ears, that's like a complete seal. If that mimics that, if this end, whatever end you use, mimics that, so it sounds like you have an earplug in your ear, you should be good to go. Usually there's small, medium, large. There might be more, or there might be more than small, medium, or large. There might be like extra small. These are small right here. They usually come off. They do come off. So take the time to make sure you have the right size fitting ear tip on the end of your in-ear. For me, honestly, I have a medium and a large. So you might find out one side might fit fine, and the other side might not fit fine. So take the time to get the right end. So you might actually find yourself using two different in-ears tips, depending on what you're using. Also important is the shape of the in-ear wire that you're using. As you can see here, this almost looks just like an ear. This doesn't work for my head. I've used these in-ears personally. Honestly, what fits best for my head, it looks more like that. It might look weird, but they stay in my ear better that way. So take the time to make sure that they're wrapped over your ear properly for your head. Not everybody's head is different. It's tempting to take the in-ear and take this wire and just kind of cramp it around your ear to make it maybe fit better. That might not actually be better. For me, having this kind of like a loose arc actually fits better for my big old head. So make sure you have time, take the time to find the right end that fits your ear, and also make the shape around your ear fit properly as well too. Both of those things help. Another thing that's tempting to do that we've actually had a little bit of a problem here at Powhatan is that musicians like to take out one ear. It's very common actually, not just here, because it does kind of feel better when you're on stage. But what happens, especially vocalists, is that then you start listening to your vocal as it goes out into the room and comes back to you, which is, hope I get this right, which is then sounds a little bit flat, which then makes you sing a little bit sharp. So if you're at a campus or you have rehearsal space like Riverside or Farmville, at rehearsal, do your best to adjust your in-ear mix and keep both ears in at all times. You have the time to do it. It's harder, I know, at the campuses where you set up at a school and you don't have that much time. But adjust your intermix with both ears in and keep them in during rehearsal, and try to get used to wearing both of the ears in. I know sometimes there's problems and you just got to hear and they pull one out. Also, what happens if you pull one out and you keep doing that is you end up turning up your intermix more and more and more. And chances are, because we're creatures of habit, you're going to pull the same one out all the time. And you're going to leave the same one in all the time. And at the end of a service, you might find that the left ear, or whatever ear you have it in, is actually ringing. And over the course of time, it'll be detrimental to your hearing. And you could actually suffer hearing loss permanently in one ear. So do your best during rehearsal time, and even on Sunday morning if you're setting up in a school, keep both in-ears in and work on getting that to sound right. It'll help you in the long run, and it also prevent hearing loss in the long run. So again, find the right size end for your in-ear. Make sure it's the right shape around your ear. Keep both of them in and work on getting used to keeping them both in. and it'll help improve your in-ear experience. All right, this is the first video. We're going to have a few more coming your way. Thanks for your time.